Welcome to the space. This is Jessica Ivgy, and we are practicing practical spirituality. We're going to take very specific tips and ways of living from the Bible so that we could have a better life and really not give up on any part of us. And we want our lives to be holistic. We want to be spiritual, but we also want to be practical. And this is what we're doing here, learning how to do it. So, um, today I want to speak about what does darkness come to tell me. This weekend Shabbat is actually the Hanukkah holiday, the Jewish holiday, and this week, I mean, it's 8 days of light, and in this week was the longest night of the year. So it's kind of funny to me, like how is the longest night in the year so much darkness in the middle of holidays of hearts? It's because it has a connection. So we're going to talk about like a struggle. When I have a struggle or I have something that a wall that I have to break, it actually comes to show me that I have a lack of something, that I'm missing something. Wasn't I missing it till now? I was, but I wasn't aware of it. And awareness is kind of the main issue here. And if it wasn't, if it didn't come to my recognition till now, it only means that it wasn't time for me to deal with it. But the fact that I'm right now being aware of this lackness, of this problem, if of this wall that I want to break down, of this whatever it is, if it's just a little feeling, a problem I have, if it came to my recognition just now, it means that this is the time to deal with it. It means that um, maybe I came to a level of awareness. Maybe I have now enough knowledge or I'm strong enough. Whatever it is that made it possible for me to deal with it. God would not have brought me to this situation if I hadn't had the tools to deal with whatever it is. So this is why, and also we can't deal with everything at once. So he gives it to us like piece by piece by piece. Okay, so why is it only then that I could cope with whatever it is? Because before I knew about it, um, it was I was unaware. So I don't know what I don't know, and if I don't know, I can't deal with it because it's not something I could look at or deal with. But after I knew, or after I know now, so there's a new recognition. I'm aware now. I'm aware of what I didn't before, but now I do. So I could look at it and actually deal with it. So I could only deal with what I know, obviously. That's why people like they feel sick and they really need to go to the hospital to get a diagnosis or whatever it is, because they're not gonna know how to deal with it if they don't know what's the problem, right? Makes sense. Um, so two reasons why I might have a hard time recognizing is if I recognize something, that means I'm gonna have to face it. And what if I don't want to face it? What if I'm kind of comfortable not knowing? We all know of times in our lives where we kind of preferred not to know something because we didn't want to leave a job, maybe we didn't want to leave a relationship, maybe we didn't want to cope with addiction we have, even like a small addiction. What if we didn't want to cope with understanding we're not behaving nice, or someone's not behaving nice to us? Whatever it is, there's so much things to be aware of and cope with. Even if it's just a test, if I'm gonna look at my diary and I'm on my schedule and I'm gonna see that I have a test coming up, I'm gonna have to start studying. What if I don't want to? So I'm not gonna look and I'm not gonna be aware, and it never really helps to not be aware. So, um, so it's gonna make it real, okay? If I'm gonna have to face it, it's gonna make it a real thing, and I don't want to admit or whatever. And sometimes lackness of knowledge lack of knowledge keeps me safe in some fantasy or some dream I have, and I'd rather have that sometimes. Okay. And also, and basically, if I'm gonna have to deal, basically what it means is I'm gonna have to face consequences. Okay, consequences might mean I will have to sit my ass down and learn, or it means I'm gonna have to break up with this person, or it means I'm gonna have to take action, or it means I'm gonna have to stop something and I want to stop. Whatever it means, there are consequences when you realize something, because every kind of realization comes into action, and I don't always want to do that action. It's hard. It's hard to act out sometimes, mostly. Um, and also, it's hard to, so that's the first reason why it's hard to recognize. Secondly, sometimes I will recognize something, but I wouldn't be aware enough that it's actually sitting on a different kind of lackness or a problem, or maybe it represents a little something more deeper. So the more you practice awareness, the more you practice mindfulness, the more you're true with whatever it is that's going on in your life, the more it's going to be possible for you to recognize truly what the problem is inside of you or around you, whatever. Okay, so authenticity. Is that how you say it? Authenticity. Yeah. Um so a person that's whole and authentic with himself is not going to be afraid of facing consequences, because these kind of people know, I mean, people that who are whole with themselves and are okay in their own skin, so they know that everyone they meet and every experience they have comes to show them something. It gives them more relevant information for them, and it tells me if I, like, let's say I meet someone and I recognize that, hey, I'm behaving with them better than I behaved last time I wasn't in this conversation. I'm reacting better. I'm reacting like I wanted and not like I was forced to or whatever. Like, just I'm able to see that last time I wanted, but now it's actually possible for me. And last time I wasn't because I wasn't able to. So every experience shows me where I am at a current situation. If it's I knew better, I didn't know better, if I reacted better or worse or didn't, whatever it means. Um, so it's gonna show me something that's better in me, or it's gonna show me something that I want to get better at, or a new lack, or a new need. Maybe I'm gonna find out that I need something. Okay. So, anyways, it's very important to be real and aware and authentic. Being authentic is actually saying, yeah, I have needs. Yes, I am afraid. Yes, I hurt. And yes, this is fun, whatever it is. And being able to say it loud and clear, firstly to myself, but also to others, and not being afraid for being judged for it, or not being afraid someone's not gonna like how you really are, because you're authentic. And if you're authentic, you don't care. The sun doesn't ask a person, am I too warm for you? It just shines. And when I heard that phrase, I don't know, it kind of changed me. I said, okay, so maybe I'm not a sun, but hey, I could shine. If someone's bothered by it, even just putting this channel up, seriously, my English is okay, but I know sometimes it's not perfect, so I might be ashamed of it, or maybe I'll put it up and people will be like, what is she thinking, like, doing this? Who does she think she is? And I do have that, in the back of my mind. But what if this is my way of shining? What if this is my way, and I know it is, helping people, even if it's just person. And every time I think, like, if this whole thing is worth it, I just think to myself, if there was one person who I know would be affected from what I'm saying, would I sit with him for a conversation, for a 20-minute conversation or 30-minute if I knew I would help them? Of course. So why not just, broadcast it, and maybe it will maybe it'll affect more people. So that's what kind of moves me with this. So I don't care to shine. I don't mind to shine. I care to do shine. um yeah, so an authentic person is really not afraid to cope with whatever's going to come up, because he's a coper. That's what he is. Because you're whole and you're comfortable in your own skin. You don't care what people are going to think. So how do we do this in a practical manner, like this whole idea? So how do we know how to recognize a lack of something? So, and also what to do with it. So first of all, we got to know that any feeling that comes up inside of us is actually a projection of something outside of us. So we react. Feelings are reactions to something that come from out of us or from inside of us. But if I react to something outside, if I look at something and it's actually a projection of anything that happens inside of me, so if something makes me mad, that has to mean I have madness inside of me. I mean, I'm mad at whatever it is. And that is something I'm going to have to deal with. I'm not going to, if I'm, okay, I'm already saying the next, whatever. I'm going to like, if something's mad at me for a good reason, I'm going to have to stop it, whatever it is. Someone's like, I don't know, hitting someone. I don't know. I'm going to have to stop that. So that's reacting in a practical manner. But my own reactions is something I'm going to have to deal with them in the inside. And it means maybe I feel injustice about something. Maybe I feel hurt about something, whatever it is. Okay, but it's always inside of me, and I'm going to have to recognize that, whatever it is. Trauma is actually being disconnected from yourself, not being able to see what's inside of you. Okay. So working inside of me means taking responsibility. Okay. Why do I take responsibility? Because when I take responsibility, then I'm able to cope, then I'm able to deal, then I'm able to do whatever. If I throw it and let go of the outside source, I'm not going to be able to control anyone else. Okay. I'm not going to, it's what it is. And that's not something I can deal with, because I don't have control on anything else but my own emotions or myself, whatever it is. I only have control of myself. So that's what I'm always going to want to take it in. For example, okay, so if someone excited me, the exciting part of me woke up. It projected. So it comes to show me that I have an exciting part inside of me. It's that simple. If someone makes me mad, so that means that the mad part in myself came to life right now. So that means I have, unfinished business with being mad at something. I'm going to have to find out what. Or if something insulted me, the insulting part of me came out. So that only comes to show me that I still feel bad about something that happened to me, and I'm still sad about it or whatever, and I'm going to have to find that out. So that's like in the emotion part. In actions, let's say someone didn't call me, and that made me feel bad. So I recognize that I feel bad when someone doesn't call. So that means I'm going to have to do the work there. I'm not going to start blaming them for not calling. I mean, if I'm going to have to take action and it's a person who doesn't call me over and over again, so maybe I'm not going to want to be in that kind of connection and relationship with them. But he's not the reason for my insult. I'm the only one who could take my insult and deal with it and work with it. I am going to want to choose someone who doesn't have to make me so, that it's not going to cause me so much pain, but it's also my responsibility to come to a point where I don't get pain from every little thing, so I don't have to accuse everybody for something all the time. Someone gave me a present and it made me happy, so it comes to show me that I'm a person who feels worthy, and I'm happy when I get presents. Not everybody feels worthy when they get presents. Some people are really hard with getting presents. So the whole concept is taking everything in, being really smart about it, and really make it simple. But we're not always going to know what we feel bad for. I think therapy helps. um, is there anything else I want to say? Usually I talk about the storyline, but honestly, it's way easier to say it in Hebrew. Like this the whole storyline, and like it's a big story. So I mainly also want to stay on focus with the mental part of the mental work around the story, not the story itself, even though it's all in there and I love it. But I feel that there are enough rabbis and storytellers to tell the stories. I just really want to stay aimed at whatever we're talking about and the tips. I'm just looking if there's anything. Okay, so I'm gonna sum it up basically. So something happens. What I'm supposed to do is work in the inside. How do I know that I'm doing a good job? Is when I know to take responsibility immediately. Okay, I don't feel like something happens to me out of the blue. I always know that if anything happens, there's some work to do. It doesn't mean like get into this place where you're working so hard all the time on yourself. There's so much techniques to heal yourself. You don't have to really dig in so strong. Sometimes it just means to let go of something. But that's a whole different story. Like how do we do it? Um, all we really need to know is like the first basic stuff we need to know is just recognize. Recognition is everything, but recognition could only happen if you're aware of yourself. So you're gonna have to, if you want to be aware, you're gonna have to practice um, whatever makes you more aware. If it's meditation, if it's writing, writing is the most amazing thing I do. Whenever I'm like emotionally touched or moved or annoyed, I just sit down and I write, and it's really hard to recognize what bothers me. But when I sit and write and I just let it all out on paper, I realize it comes to me. So that's a really good technique. Mindfulness, I think, is amazing and important, because also healing means it's your whole. It means taking all of your parts and into mind. And when you mindful whatever it is, and you practice mindfulness, so you kind of connect all your parts together. And I think it's really important in in this time of history for ourselves to do it. um and sometimes you might realize that there's something, you see that there's this something there, you recognize it, but it's still not like coming down into words. That's okay, because sometimes I go full days and I just pray, and when I see there's something and I just pray for it, it happens. It actually happens. um you just, because you're so focused on it, that it will come up. It will just come up. And so I hope you a great Hanukkah, and may all darkness turn into light, and may you always find light in the darkness, and you always appreciate the darkness times when there's light. Subscribe, like, whatever you want to do, do it. Thank you.